Hello folks, my name is Prathamesh and I'm the founder of the Civilization Project. I'm conducting this business planning masterclass on 15th and 16th of September in Balewadi, and quite a few folks have asked me to share a few more details about what this workshop is about and how this workshop will help them get their business rolling. So that's why I decided let's make a quick video about all the modules that I'm going to cover in this workshop and how these modules can help set the right foundations for founders to make the best possible business decisions in their startup journey. If you are either of these two categories, then I would request you to watch this video till the end. Number one, if you are a founder who has already started his or her own business and are struggling to grow their business, this workshop is definitely meant for you. Second, if you are someone who is wanted to start a business but have no idea how to start, where to start, which product to choose, which market to go in, then this workshop is also for you. Having said that, I'll jump into the details of this workshop. So, the very first module of this workshop is going to be about finding your Ikigai. In a couple of videos that I've shared already, I kept on mentioning that the idea that we work on is not really that important. What matters more is the nourishment that we give to these ideas and the execution that we do on these ideas throughout the 7 to 10 years which is required to turn any business idea into a self-sustaining business. The only constant factor remains is you, the founder, right? The investors will come and go, their preferences will change, the markets will change, the political parties in power will change, the employees will come and go, your vendors may change. The only constant that remains is you. You may have also heard a lot of people saying that perseverance is the most important trait which is required for any founder. Well, my friends, perseverance can only come if the idea that you're working on or the business that you're trying to build is related and linked directly to your most intrinsic source of purpose, which gives you that long-term motivation to go through all the rough periods that you will face as a founder. And hence, we will start our workshop with the very first exercise called Finding Your Ikigai. So again, if you have not heard about Ikigai, it's simply answering 4 questions. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what is the world ready to pay you for? Once we have found out answers to these 4 questions, then we will kind of find the central theme of your life, the purpose of your life, and then build on top of it. If you ask me, the whatever fees we are charging for this workshop, you will find that you have already found value for that money in this very exercise. So that's the first part, that's the first module where we'll work on finding your Ikigai, finding your deepest sense of purpose and the business opportunities that are linked to your sense of purpose for life. The second exercise is called Spin Your Story, where we will dive deeper into the 4th question of Ikigai, which is what does the world really need? So this spin theory essentially is a salesman theory. A lot of good salesmen use this theory to sell their products and services, which essentially are 4 important factors. The first is situation, which starts with observing the situation around us. Then we go into identifying the exact problems in the situation, then measuring the implication of that problem and figuring out what is the necessary thing that we need to solve the problem, right? And to give a better experience to our customers, to our partners, to our vendors, so on and so forth. So this is a deep dive on the 4th question of Ikigai, which is what does the world need? And it helps us essentially to zero down on what is needed by the market, which is the world around us, and how it is linked to your Ikigai. So that's the second module. The third module is where we go into analyzing what we call purchase decisions of our target customer persona. Any management theory starts with one very simple fact, that businesses are going concern. Human beings, for eternity have been fascinated by this concept of immortality. Nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to leave a legacy behind. And in my view, business is one way of making yourself immortal, because businesses are going concerns. If you look at all the big conglomerates in the world, it's the family name which keeps on going. Even if the person running the business changes, right? If you look at Tatas, if you look at Ambanis, if you look at Adanis, or if you look at Rothschilds and all the other big business families across the world, they've immortalized themselves using this tool or using this vehicle called business. But a business can only be going concern if there's sales, if there's revenue, because sales is the lifeline of any business. What we see all around us right now, even in the startup ecosystem in India, is we have a lot of cash burning businesses where there is very little revenue and a lot of expenses, and these businesses are essentially running on investor money, which will dry out sometime soon, or in most of the cases it has already started to run out. Having said that, if you have to build a business which survives and which is self-sustainable, we need customers. And if we need customers, we have to understand what are the products that they are buying, what are the services that they are buying, how are they buying, where are they buying, so on and so forth. Analyzing these purchase decisions also gives us a ton of insights about our target customer persona, because if you can see on this slide, any purchase decision starts with the identification of the need, right? And if you look at what we talked about, the first two modules, be it Ikigai or be it spin theory, both of them essentially take us to that need which we identify in the market. This need is about some customer, and once we have identified the need, once we have identified our target customer, once we have identified what products or what services this customer is purchasing, then we can start building a business plan around it. So that's the third part, where we'll focus on who buys what products, what services, and how are they linked to the need that you have identified, which matches your Ikigai. So with these three modules, our foundation for our business plan is set. Now what remains is how to execute on this foundation, which is where we'll jump into the fourth module, which is called wildly important goal. Now this is a very important exercise in terms of aligning all our execution efforts. Again, if you go to any management class, any MBA institute, or any startup mentor per se, everyone will constantly talk about the importance of goal setting. If we don't have a goal set, our entire team will be wandering around, working in all random directions, and as a business will not be making any progress per se, which is where this concept of wildly important goal plays a very, very, very interesting role. The wildly important goal essentially suggests or talks about one goal, only one goal, for which the entire team is geared towards, working towards, right? And then if we have to achieve that goal, what are the activities we need to do, which are signaled by the term called leading behaviors. So these are all the behaviors which we need to do at certain frequencies. There will be some tasks which we will need to do on a daily basis, some tasks which we need to do on a weekly basis, some tasks which we'll need to do on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or yearly basis. So this exercise will help us figuring out the wildly important goal, or the North Star metric in typical startup lingo, and what are the activities which we need to do at certain frequencies to achieve that goal. But only doing those activities is not enough. We'll also need to measure the performance of our activities. Weirdly enough, any activity that we do, the result generally comes after a certain time lag. That's why the third part of this exercise is called lagging indicators, where we'll figure out कि हम लोग जो भी activities कर रहे हैं उसको हम लोग measure कैसे करेंगे, and based on these lagging indicators, we can deduce whether we are moving towards our wildly important goal or not. So this one exercise will essentially give us a concrete action plan to execute over the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It all depends on what level of depth do you want to go into in terms of reducing your action plan, which is aligned towards your wildly important goal. If we are to sell our products and services to the customer we have identified, to satisfy the need we have identified, which matches our sense of ikigai, right? So all of these exercises are connected to each other. All of these exercises are building towards our ultimate goal of figuring out a business plan. Having said that, let's move to the 5th module, which is simply resource planning. If we are to execute on our action plan, we need certain resources. We need team members, we need some machines, equipment, or we need cash to run all of these operations. So we'll jump into resource planning in the 5th module. There are a couple of bonus lessons here. One, in this particular module, I will tell you a very simple formula to figure out who's your co-founder, who's your founding member, who is just an employee, and who should be a consultant or a vendor. And all of this is determined from the answers we find for the 4th exercise. So that's the bonus lesson which will be covered in this particular module, which is called resource planning. One more very interesting factor which will come in this 5th particular module. I'm very sure that a lot of you founders have struggled with preparing JDs, job descriptions, for the team members that you want to hire. Even if you have not struggled, I'm sure the experience must have been very frustrating and irritating, where you go to Google and search for job descriptions and don't find something that you really like, and then you figure out that there are these 10 templates, and then you start mixing and matching to figure out something that you feel chalo ye acha, ye theek hai. In this exercise, I'll also show you a very simple hack to prepare job descriptions without even doing one Google search. So this is, in my view, a very important exercise, and it will be the lifeline of the entire business plan. And once we have concluded all of these 5 modules, you'll see that the business plan actually magically appears all together. I'm sure you founders must have gone through a variety of business pitch templates, the Sequoia template, or the Facebook template, or the Airbnb template, or the other templates that are available on the internet. If you look at the answers that we are going to find throughout these 5 exercises, you'll find that the business plan actually becomes very easy, very obvious, and very evident. It looks something like this. So this is going to be our 6th and the last module, which is the final investor ready packaging of our business plan. Well, we'll start with our spin theory, the answers we find to our spin theory, which will include the situation that we are looking at, the problems that we have identified, the implications of these problems, and the need that is identified to solve these problems, which give us the product or service offering which we want to work on. Our matching ikigai, which makes us uniquely suited to solve this problem or to offer these products or services. Now again, I'm digressing here a bit, but you may have also heard of this question from investors. What if Google tries to do the same idea, or Facebook tries to do the same idea? This is one of the answers, right? The answer lies in the difference between your ikigai and Google's ikigai and Facebook's ikigai, and whether they are actually really uniquely suited to solve this particular problem or to offer this particular product or service. So spin, product service offering, matching ikigai. Then we come to who buys what again, which is essentially our target customer and potentially how many. I forgot. In this particular exercise, which is model 3, I'm also going to give you a zero cost way to actually measure what your potential target audience or TAM is. I'm sorry. Then we'll go to wildly important goal, which is nothing but an execution plan over in terms of how do you plan to execute on your business plan, how do you want to enter the market, so on and so forth. The resources that you are going to need to execute on your business plan, and the investment that you are going to need to execute this business plan. As you see, in just 5 simple modules, our business plan will be ready. And trust me, I've used this method on a wide variety of businesses. I've tried to implement this same exact pattern for a media production company, a construction company, an architect, an oral health company, a blockchain company, a wellness company, and my own company, the Civilization Project. It works magically. It doesn't matter which sector do you want to focus in. It doesn't matter what scale you are in. It doesn't matter what stage of company building you are in. These exercises will help you find answers to all the questions that you may or may not be struggling with. So, this is about the workshop. All of these exercises will be conducted in this workshop. And as I've mentioned, top 5 business plans will get an opportunity to present their business plans in front of a select panel of investors, the details of which I will share very shortly. There are some really high profile investors which I'm trying to get for you guys. This workshop will be conducted on 15th and 16th of September in Balewadi. The details will be attached in the details below. See you in the workshop. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to answer them. See ya.